Hi friends, welcome to another monthly favorites, this one being the June edition. But first, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. This monthly favorites, I wanted to bring in a little category of lifestyle, as I usually like to do. Sometimes I have a lot of lifestyle to share, sometimes I forget to mention it. Not in this video. I wanted to start off with Kierston Gittens. She is my web designer and developer who is actually an original fan member, has been watching my videos, and saw one day I mentioned that I was overwhelmed with web stuff, wasn't really crazy about my website, I wanted to rebrand, I wanted to create a new logo, and here she comes in my DMs. Not only did she help design my logo, which I am just so happy with because I had explained to her during the process of getting my ideas on paper and how I wanted my brand to be represented. I told her that I love the 90s, I love 90s style patterns that we used to see, and just the whole vibe of like neon, bright, vibrant colors, because I feel personality wise, that's kind of like what I am. Not only did she create my logo with that concept in mind, but I thought she brilliantly integrated that into my website as well. So without Kierston, I would not have the logo that you see, the website that I have, and I relinquished to the fact that as much as I love to be good at everything, I love to learn, I love to figure it out, right? I'm not the best editor, but I figured it out. I'm not the best tech person, but I figured it out. When it comes to web design and illustration and branding and logo, I don't have the brain capacity. So to rely on someone like Kierston was just of tremendous value. And not only did she help me with my logo and my website, she also helped design my newsletter template. She also created my workshop package, and she creates monthly headers for me or whatever I, wanted to do. I'm like, Kierston, can you create this? And she will do it in a jiffy. And I just wanted to share that because she has been such an integral part of me building my brand and how it is represented. And I always have her information down in my description box as the person who created my logo. But if you are in a situation or you just needed some insight, you need a new website, you need your logo to be refreshed, or you just need someone to consult with to just kind of help you figure out what's inside your brain and to put it out there, well, Kierston's information will be down below. And again, a huge thank you to her for reaching out to me when I was like trying to figure it out. Still am, but thank goodness I have her help. And if you ever contact Kierston, well, you will not be disappointed. Next lifestyle favorite I wanted to share are my headphones. I encountered these for the first time when I saw Marquez Brownlee's review of the Apple wireless, like the huge headphones that cost $1,000. I didn't get those, but that's that video. Marquez said these were his favorite before he went into the Apple headphones review, and I'm like, oh, those are his favorite headphones? For music, I think he has another favorite pair for post-edit production, but I didn't know about the Sonys. And the official name, which is so long, I have to pull up the app in order to tell you guys. 1000 XM4. So we're gonna just do XM4. They also came out with wireless earbuds that I've seen a few reviews on, and they look promising. I'm not crazy about my AirPod Pros. They don't stay in my ears as I would like them to, and I've even switched out the earpod to the bigger one, the bigger insert, and when I tried jumping rope with them, they just did not stay on. So I really just use them to edit, and when I want to listen to something and not disturb others that I'm not going to be bouncing around, I'll use them to listen to. And the reason why I insisted on buying them in the first place is because for the reasons I just mentioned, and also when I teach my Zoom privates, I like to have my earpods on and my wireless mic on at the same time. So if mom needs to do something, because we're in the same space, I'm not disturbing her with the sound from my computer. So those are those reasons, but I still wanted headphones that I wanted like the music experience to be immaculate. And the sound from the Sonys, oh my god. First of all, the noise canceling properties of these bad boys, you ain't hear nothing around you. Maybe a little bit, but the technology on these is just astonishing. I mean, you can choose constant ambient sound control where they detect what kind of environment you're in, and they will change the technology so you can hear yourself more or the music more. That just goes to show, I just really put these on to start playing music. But the app is so intricate and detailed that you can do enable chat, so when you start talking the music will turn off. You could also change if you want it more bass centric or vocal centric or treble centric. You can connect to up to 2 devices, so I have this connected to both my iPhone and my MacBook Pro. But the bass, the sound is just so clear, and they're much lighter than the Apple headphones, which are made out of metal, right? And I get it, that's super luxe, but I want something that's light over my head. And although these are although these are plastic, I feel these would just be far more comfortable to wear long term than ones that are made out of metal. Those are quite heavy on your head. And they have it so when you take these off, the minute I move my earpiece, they turn off. And when they detect that you are no longer listening to music, they'll just shut off. Whereas the Apple ones, you have to put it in like that sleeve that looks like a bra for them to turn off. So you could have those on your head all day and they will not turn off, which these are energy saving. And the battery life, fam, I only have to charge these once a week and I use them a lot. The battery life on these is superb. So I am so happy I spent, I think these are like $350. It's worth it. It is worth it. There are expensive headphones. I know. They're worth it. If you are a music lover like me, if you want that sound to just be like crispy in your ear, that surround sound experience that no matter what track you're listening to, you hear the high, low, the mids, just everything in tandem, get the Sonys. But the battery life for me is reason enough. Waiting for the truck to go by. Ooh, that's a big one. Goodbye. Speaking of music, I love house music. I'm not a house music connoisseur, meaning I just know when I hear the sound and I know when I'm hearing the genre, it makes me feel good. And my previous point is in regards to the fact that I wouldn't be able to tell if I'm listening to deep house or techno house or electric house. I know there are subgenres within the big house genre. I like old school house, that 90s house that's just more of like that dance type of a music versus electro techno, which is more of like a monotonous driving beat. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it. I also love me some tribal house. I love tribal house also. If you mix a little bit in there, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize I could do this, and this was just stupid on my part, because I love Spotify. I can listen to some DJ sets on SoundCloud, but because of the you know what, a lot of DJs stream their sets from their homes. And man, my favorite live stream DJ set is from Carl Cox. I didn't know about Carl Cox. I know, kill me right now. CC is legendary, okay? This guy plays such good old school house, and he will change it depending on the venue he's at. If you go on his YouTube channel, which of course I will post down below, I'll also post the 2 streams that I've been listening to nonstop. You will see how he adjusts the genre a little bit depending on the venue that he's at, right? So everything is comprehensive in experience. But I've been listening to his more old school, like 90s house mixes. Let me tell you, it gets me through my walks, it gets me through my jump rope routine, it gets me through my weight training routine. I love Carl Cox. I also love Sony Fodera. I actually was listening to Sony before I encountered Carl Cox. The Garden Scent Round 4 is really good. I'll post that one down below. Ferric Dawn, Roger Sanchez. Who else? There are many other DJs. Even Idris Elba, I get down with his stuff too. Idris was like a DJ for 20 years before he started acting, or cumulatively, not 20 years before he started acting, but he's overall been DJing for a very long time. I like some of his sets, but ooh, I get into it, fam. It is so much fun. That beat that doesn't stop. And again, some people are not into that. get it. But when I need to dedicate myself to some training that I just need to get myself in there, like all the nooks and crannies of my body and my mind have to commit. I need something that's just gonna plug me in, and house music is what it is. So I will leave all my favorite lists down below. Let me know what yours are. I would love to get into some of y'all's faves. If you feel like, Alicia, you gotta listen to this, I will listen to it. And I think that is it for lifestyle, but I have to get into some nail polish. So I would like to feature like a throwback item in my monthly favorites from time to time, just to remind myself that I don't have to present new products all the time, and it's okay to still love something that came out 6 months ago. I am referring to the ILNP Wicked collection that released last fall 2020. This one right here was one of the most beautiful collections. The Wicked collection is a magically curated set of 7 daring, intense, and mystifying shades inspired by an eerie forest. The Wicked collection incorporates festive fall tones and delivers a daunting array of eerie black, shadowy gray, fiery red, and more. Before I painted my nails last night, I was contemplating putting on like neon pastel, neon whatever, and I love those shades, especially for summertime. I'm feeling them. Holographic polishes, the linear hollow that looks beautiful under the sun. I was thinking about doing that. I was thinking about maybe doing some magnetic multi-chrome action from the Fun Lacquer collection that released last year. So I picked up a polish of Shadow Grove from the Wicked collection. And I was like, I need to go here. I need to go here. I know this is so dark for summer, but I don't care, because that's what I was feeling at the moment. And fall is my most favorite season out of all, okay? I just had to get back into these shades. And although there's a shade in the Wicked collection that I have 2 of actually, because of my horrendously organized way I keep my nail polish, I could not find Eclipse, which is the ILNP color in the Wicked collection. This is actually Cirque Colors Neo that came from their multi-chrome collection that released also sometime last year. Neo and Eclipse are similar in the multi-chrome profile of things, where it has the blood red, gold, turquoise. The video here just shows the full spectrum of what's included in this multi-chrome polish, and one of my all-time favorite multi-chrome polishes out of all. You know, you always have like the green blue, the magenta gold, like you have your huge. The KB shimmer polish I wore during the Sonia G live last weekend, Hidden Potential, I mean, that freaking multi-chrome has like 6 shades. I can't even identify all of them. But something about Neo / Eclipse, but Shadow Grove is a linear hollow over like a golden brown. It's hard to see here on camera, so you will have seen it in the clip that I showed before or now. It looks like an eerie forest. It just conceptualizes that illustration so well. They truly put that in a polish, and oof, I will wear this all year round. It is so beautiful. And then with this, I had to go here today. So I know it's late June, okay? I had to put on these fall colors, and I had to revisit them because they are just one of my most favorite shades in my entire collection, and by far one of my most favorite collections that ILNP released. So throwback is feeling good. All right, as you see, I already have some shadow on because I just did like a palette comparison video that I think I would have put up already. So if I did, the card will be up above. I wanted to go into my favorite complexion combination, and that is the Huda Beauty Glowish tint and the Fenty Beauty Eaze drop. Now, the Glowish tint by itself is pretty good. I actually really like the consistency. It does leave you dewy, for sure. And I think it does have a pearl type of finish that has a blurring effect on the skin, and because of that, it's not going to rely on heavy coverage, right? Given the fact that it is a tint and not an actual foundation. So if you're looking for a complexion product that's lightweight in nature but will appear luminous on the skin, then I will recommend Glowish. And I have the shade light tan. I could have done medium dark, but medium dark wasn't available at the Sephora I had visited at the time, and I thought, you know, give myself a little bronzy bronze with light tan wouldn't have been a problem. It's not long lasting, however. The nature of the product is very much that glowy, dewy in finish. So what I thought to do is combine it with my Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop, and the Eaze Drop has a little more of a dry down than the Glowish. So if you like your Eaze Drop and you don't want any more dew than that, then Glowish probably is not going to be a good match. If you weren't crazy about the Eaze Drop and you wanted a little more luminosity, then maybe Glowish will be a better match. Both of them I really appreciate. Not only does it rebalance the color on me a little bit, but the more natural dry down from the Eaze Drop I think anchors Glowish's dry down a bit more for me. And on days where it is exceptionally humid, I'll go in with my Pat McGrath light medium loose powder, and I think this is where this loose powder truly shines. And this is what Pat wanted to accomplish, because when setting makeup, she wanted her model's skin to still have radiance and just have glow. She didn't want the skin to look matte. And I think this is what this powder accomplishes, especially when I apply it on a product like the Glowish, even in combination with Eaze Drop. Allows the product to still show through, but I don't appear as shiny. And I think that also improves the longevity of the product, especially if you will be out and you wish to wear makeup. The loose powder is going to keep the makeup on your skin but still not make your complexion appear dull. So that has been my go-to combination for June, and I think I will finish these products. I'm not sure if I will repurchase Glowish, maybe, because I mean, with this makeup coming out new every day, who knows what will show up then. Maybe I'll just buy something entirely new. I have been appreciating that combination. If I wanted to go in with a little more coverage, like I'm going through a little bit of a breakout here around my jawline, then I'll go in with Pat's concealer in M16, which does the job well for me. And I've been one to surrender to the fact that I still have blemishes to show through. I don't mind that they still do. You know, that's fine. Concealer is the same. Still using Pat McGrath's LM12, Pat's Yellow Under Eye Blurring Powder. Now on to the cheek products. There have been quite a few. Okay, I think you suspect that my favorite is Alicia Eldridge. Now, just to say, there are differences in consistency among the enlivening blushes. Like some of them are tough to squeeze out of the tube and are like moussey, and some, or maybe not some, but I think one, specifically Dante's Dream comes out pretty liquidy. I would think that's the only I'm not saying bad thing, but just unexpected, because I didn't realize that they would have such different consistencies. It's all good. I just kind of warm it up, like I kind of squeeze it like this, so perhaps that will help just even out the consistency of the formula, so when I squeeze it out, it doesn't feel like it's taken an eternity. But one combination that I wanted to share that I did the other day is to combine Island Glow with Pat's Electric Bloom. You're not even ready. That's what we're going to do today. To quickly go over why I consider the Alicia Eldridge Enlivening blush a favorite is that I feel it's very easy to blend on the skin. The one component that I'm not crazy about is the fact that you have to squeeze it out. I love to have cream blush in a compact, but I know that's not the most hygienic approach, right? Especially if you are a pro. To squeeze something out is far more hygienic than to scoop it out of a pan. But now, like Island Glow, you really got to squeeze. I think it's probably one of the drier consistencies. It's moussey in texture though. So here you go. So we just have to zhuzh it a little bit. And I'm going to tap on first right there. I will use a brush that will not be named because it's sold out in like 30 minutes. Is also considered a favorite. I will punch on Island Glow, and it is a quintessential coral shade. And again, I feel the shades Lisa picked to be a part of her Enlivening blush collection. They're so sophisticated. They cover a wide spectrum of, I think, color interests, right? You have your coral, you also have your deep berry shade that was an unexpected favorite for me. If you see that video, I was like, whoa, I didn't think I was gonna love this as much as I do. And some of you were asking also if it stays well, especially if you are wearing a mask. I would powder it a little bit because it's meant to look dewy but still have like a matte type of how does she explain this? It's not too dewy, but it's not too matte either. It's not going to slip off your skin, but it's meant to look skin-like in finish. It's not going to have the same longevity as something that's more matte in finish, right? However, though, I applied Pat's loose powder over the Glowish and the Eaze drop as you saw in the demo, and that helps the Enlivening blush stay a little bit better, as opposed to if I were to just apply this on the Glowish exclusively. That would have made it slide a little bit more, and I have experimented with that throughout the month. I will apply the Glowish by itself and not powder it, apply the Enlivening on top, have a little more slip to it. So I would say if you wanted to bump up the staying power of the Enlivening, powder first. And you see how it, hold on, that's better. And you see it does not apply uneven. It still looks skin-like, and it has a little bit of radiance to the skin, which is why I love the Pat loose powder so much, as it leaves behind like a blurred finish and does not make the skin look dull. If you want a little more, which is why I wanted to mention the electric blue, this is where we go in for a little bit reinforcement. But again, because this blush has like, it's like it's a satin, right? On top of, listen, if you want these cheeks to look summery, okay, this is what you got to do. That's what you got to do. I'm just patting it down here so we could just look diffused, darling. Oh, we ready. We are ready. I am looking sunburnt and I love it. That has been my #1 combination. Island Glow with Electric Bloom. All the colors are gorgeous. I especially love Dante's Dream. And another combination is Pink Soap with Flirtatious or Nude Venus. Maybe Mountain Walk and Cherish. That... Get ready for the blush jam, fam. I still want to have the blush jam. Let me know down below if you received your Pat McGrath blushes and your Lisa blushes, because it's happening. Second favorite cheek product is the Elevated Glow. This is in Solar Light. I also have Crystal Nebula and Cosmic Rose. I think Solar Light might be the favorite out of the three for me. This is... Now, one of you had said that you can't make it work. You've tried a lot of brushes, different combinations of products. So fam, let me know if you have the same experience so we can help each other out. Maybe figure out what's the best method if some of us are having problems with this. I have not had any issues. And the way this just blends into several products, I find with either fingers or a brush, the way it just, the glow. Are you kidding me? It is absolutely beautiful. And at one point, I think for the sake of demoing, I applied like 3 layers of this stuff and it did not look crazy on my skin. It just looked like my skin was having major glow status and it looked phenomenal. Very happy with this product. Listen, I'm happy maybe I got 3 because I could juggle between them and not run out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that is Solar Light. It is my favorite. Now going into another cheek product that I really like, that I don't have, more so than some of the other products in the line, but the Makeup by Mario highlighter. This is in Golden. Beautiful shade. The consistency, beyond smooth. The way it just melts into the skin is crazy. Here, I'm going to take my Wayne Goss #4. Brushes I also consider a favorite. I'm punching it on top of the Lisa. And just look how it's undetectable. And you see it's glowing, I know. But it doesn't look powdery at all. So I truly love this formula in terms of this. It's delicate, but it has beautiful shine and impact. Absolutely. And the Lisa just anchors it well. You know, it doesn't kind of mess up the flow of things. It just... sorry. I'm just patting down a little bit here. You know, I went a little crazy with the highlighter, but it's okay. Ooh. The other product from the line I do like are the bronzers. This is the Soft Scope Bronzer, also by Makeup by Mario. This is the medium dark shade, which I also have dark. And the reason why I bought it was because that was the only shade at the time being sold at Sephora. I had major FOMO, and the associate was like, they're very lightweight, so maybe you could get away with it. So again, that's medium dark, that's dark. You can see that there's a little more balanced, neutral, warm in medium dark, and is primarily warm in dark. I think it's a beautiful consistency. Super silky on the skin. You can definitely enhance the intensity. You can definitely build up the intensity of your bronzer. So I'm going to go in with dark, just so you can see how this goes. I'm going in using Wayne's Goss Edit #1 brush, just lightly over Electric Bloom and Lisa's Island Glow, and it just melts into the skin. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, is this a lot of makeup? Absolutely. I wouldn't recommend that you go in with all this cheek product business. I feel the powder silky smooth. It doesn't look dry on the skin, and it plays well with others, absolutely. And between the two, I think I prefer the dark shade simply because it's warmer, and although it can build up in intensity, I much prefer the overall tone over medium dark. However, if you are my complexion and you prefer something more neutral that appears more like a contour versus a bronzer, then medium dark will be a match. If you wanted to just clean up a little bit, you know, just if you went a little crazy, well, there you go. The products that I think are nice, but just need a little bit of tweaking. The Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick, this is in medium dark. It has a brush side that I rarely use. I mean, I understand if you're on the go, this will come in handy, so great. This is the stick. I'm gonna show you the swatch right here. There's just a little bit of tackiness to it that I feel not as even as, where is it? The Danessa Contour Balm. Danessa's Contour Balm has, I don't know, I feel like it's a little smoother in consistency, and I find easier to blend for me. I like the color a lot. I do. I think I have to figure out what's the best way to apply this product so it can reveal its fullest potential. Like, I don't know if I like to apply the stick directly on my skin, or I like to put it on the back of my hand first, but there's definitely this initial tack that I think you have to blend through, and then it starts to dry down more soft matte. Some people like that, some people have problems with it. I'm not really sure how we feel overall about the Sculpt stick. I use it, but I feel the Danessa is easier to blend. I know that a compact is not as hygienic as a stick, as I mentioned before with the Island Glow, and I didn't say the brand at the time, but LYS or even Melt's Cream Blush Lights. Cream Blush Lights. I'm sorry, I forgot. I just find this to be an easier application than the Mario stick. And that also goes with the blush. The blush definitely has a lot more tack to it. It's a strange consistency. And again, when you blend it out, it doesn't stay tacky. I think it still goes into that, like, that soft matte finish. But I find because of the tack, it will move your makeup if you apply it directly on your skin, which is, I think, what people were having trouble with, which is why I would use my finger to take off the product, tap it on my cheeks, and blend out from there. Or I'll take some on the back of my hand, take some with my brush, blend it out from there. Unless I'm going on bare skin, I wouldn't put the stick directly on, which is what I think would move the makeup, because it does have so much stick that you have to put pressure on your skin, and if you already have makeup on there, something's gonna move. I think I want to experiment a little more with the brushes that I use, with what makeup I apply them on. Again, right now I like the Danessa more than the Makeup by Mario sticks, but that opinion can change. I'll get back to you on that. I still wanted to mention these products in the video because I've been using them for a good portion of the month, and in case you were too and you wanted to share your experiences, well, let me know down below. Out of the entire line, I much prefer the powder bronzers and the powder highlighter. Shadow palette. Well, if you're wondering what I have on my eyes right now, I did a comparison between Supreme Nude and Supreme Bronze. So this is the Supreme Bronze side, and I have to say, despite the fact that we've seen these colors before, I really love the curation of this palette. I think it's solid. It is seamlessly easy to use. I think with the exception of maybe Baked, that's pretty hard pressed. If you tap on that color instead of try to swirl and twirl it, I think you will get a beautiful hazy blend. And there are two metallics in there. They're a little drier than what I found in Supreme Nudes, but it could be a formula change that was for Supreme Bronze if Angel wanted to introduce something new to the palette. I really like how it's sparkly arcly, but they don't have the same body as, like, let's say Opulence and Supreme from Supreme Nude. So if you really love the metallics from Supreme Nude, you're gonna like them in Supreme Bronze. You just have to be open-minded with those drier formulas that I feel are more suitable to tap on the other metallics in there, but you can apply more of an opaque layer if you just use your finger and go in on the color, and it will create that depth. Mattes are really easy to blend. You know, I think it's a solid palette, and it's something that I would use all month long. I think because of the inclusion of the cooler shades in there is quite comprehensive. Because of that, lends itself to be fairly easy to use and just stress free. Now I wanted to bring up brunette. I like brunette. I do. There are a couple of things though I wanted to mention. This could have been really good if they included a deeper matte in here. You got 3 light mattes with the exception of maybe cork. Just they don't look distinct on the lid or on the crease. I get suede is like your brow bone highlight. They classified buff as the blend out shade. I don't think it's necessary to have a blend out shade when you have suede. You can use suede as a blend out shade, or maybe perhaps make it so it was a shade between suede and buff and then include a deeper shade than brunette. One of you had said that this was more of a blonde than brunette palette, and I think that's accurate. It's a shame because this was actually, I think, one of the better performing eyeshadow palettes that Melt has released. The mattes are soft, they're easy to blend. The metallics, even though Stout looked a little strange on my lid, is a gorgeous color. Bourbon is lovely. I mean, when I got it on my lid, the swatch was a little iffy, but when I got it on my lid, like, it's nice. It had a nice character to it when I applied it with the other shades in here. We just needed to swap out one of those beigey shades and get a deeper matte in there, or even like a deeper metallic to really amp up the experience of brunette. And with that, I think it would have been one of Melt's best eyeshadow palettes because they're so hit or miss, and I know some of us always give them a chance to just nail it, and it's always something, whether it's the matte or it's the color story. You know, I wanted to briefly bring up Mary Jane because I had mentioned Mary Jane in my original brunette palette, because like if they would have included one of these in the palette, like it could have been something. Now some of you really love Mary Jane. My issues were that the metallics, you really needed to take your time with these suckers. Look at that texture, you know? But if you took your time, then the color you get is extraordinary. Beautifully grungy, has really nice smoky depth, and the mattes in here, forget it, super intense. Look at those colors. Look at that. I love this one especially. This is Gaspar. Melt loves their olive tones. They will always find a way to fit an olive something in one of their palettes. Till this day, and I haven't cracked into She's in Parties yet. It's still in the box it was delivered in. I know, that's how crazy it's been. I think by far still one of the best performing palettes for me out of all the palettes that Melt has released is Rust. This I felt was solid. All the metallics in here, surprisingly, were smooth. No issues whatsoever. Smooth, and smooth. Really easy to apply on the lid. There was no grittiness like what's found in Mary Jane. And the mattes too, smooth. Look at this. Look at this beautiful marigold matte. Rubbish. We gotta get our mustard in there. Rust. Oh my gosh. And then you have Mar and Rot too. Look at the depth. This I feel has a wide spectrum of color. The mattes hit the light and the deep tones of the spectrum. And even though there are only 3 metallics in here, because you have so many intentional colored mattes, you can steer the looks to be vastly different, again, despite that there are only 3 metallics. So if you don't have any matte palettes, and because you've been hearing different things and you're like, I don't know, man, Rust for me, I think, is the most solid. I know she's in parties as a favorite, I know. In terms of being for the warm neutral club, okay, Rust, I think, for me, better performing than Mary Jane and better than Brunette because it's a more comprehensive story, and I think it hits a wider spectrum of skin tones in terms of the mattes. And of course, the Wayne Goss Edit Collection. I'm surprised at how much I love number 5. I used it a lot in my Supreme Nudes and Supreme Bronze video. The way the brushes are tapered, I feel, just makes it so easy to create that smoky crease wing that I love to do on my own eyes. I know if it's something that you don't like to do, then it's not going to align with your style, but the brushes have beautiful flow. I find that it was so easy to create my looks. And the number 2, I actually really love for foundation. The fact that it's a round brush, it's not super tightly packed. So if you want more of a lightweight dose of foundation or skin tint or whatever you wish to use, this delivers very well. Number 1 brush has a taper as well, so I feel lovely to use onto the hollows, to punch on some cheek color. So that's a pretty solid set. And of course, you know, I have to mention this. We don't know when the next restock is. If by the time I upload this video, we got some news on that, I'll post it right up next to me. It's a Sonia G Fusion series. By far, just is perfection. What can I say? My bias is that I love Sonia. I love her as a person, okay? Before I met her over the interwebs, her brushes have always been... They really deliver that experience that just makes you want to do your makeup every day, even if you don't have nowhere to go. Skin looks beautifully blurred, just virtually no texture. Even if there is texture, the way the brushes work product into the skin is just... I have no words. And that there are 5 of these freaking brushes with this natural synthetic blend that I have been making my cream liquid makeup life a dream. That's just it. So we're gonna keep an eye out for that restock because oof, these are essential. Oh my gosh, I forgot one. The Patrick Ta. Now, the Patrick Ta, people are mad about the price. Judging from what Hindash said about his palette, where each pan needed to be pressed differently, the only thing I can say is that there are different textures in here. So you have the mattes, you have the creams, and you have like these sparkly arcly shades that are very different from the mattes in the palette. I'm not saying that has to be the reason, but I have a feeling in terms of the manufacturing why it's $68 and not $50 or $58. I do really like this palette. I've used it throughout the month of June. I love how you have cream shadows in here, because what I've been doing is, yes, applying the cream shadow, but then I use the cream shadow as a way to further amplify the metallics in here. So it serves as a type of adherence, which I think is great to have under these metallics to make them stay and shine even more. The mattes are beautifully easy to blend. They're super soft and velvety. The color depth could be deeper. This is the deepest matte in here, yeah, and then you have the reddish brown matte in here. So, you know, since we just went over Rust, you have Rust has a better offering because it has Rot 2, which is a far deeper matte than this one here. If you love these shades, like these sparkly arcly shades, then they truly are super shiny. Yeah, they have like that dazzle effect that I think really easy to apply. As you saw here, they stick to the skin very well. There's very little fallout with them. You could apply it all over your lid, or you could tap them on your lid, however you like to do. So I've been using this palette extensively as well, and I feel this generally June has been a good palette month. Oh, and we have one more. What am I talking about? Sydney Grace and Temptalia. I obviously did not finish my notes this morning. Again, a huge congratulations to Sydney Grace and Temptalia for their collab that released, I think it was last week? Yes. What? No, was it Monday? Huh. No, it was last week. Look at me talking to myself. I have a video using each palette. They are colorful, jewel tone, impactful palettes. Not for everyone. If you're not into shades like this, if you have very little option to create an eye like this, for instance. So if you're more of a supreme nudes type of a person, then I don't think any of these will be quite for you. Now, something that you have observed, which is true, is that they all seem to be a version of green blues, purple pink. I think each palette represents a different intensity of that color story. For instance, Quintessence is like the cooler version of that. Yeah, you have cooler blues and greens in here with that cranberry shade and this really nice matte to just kind of anchor down the looks. But when you go into On the Horizon, it's a little more subdued, right? It's a little more muted, but you still have the greens, the blues, and some pink shades in there. This you have more of like the rose gold moment. So I think the least impactful one is On the Horizon, especially, and these are all the deep palettes, by the way, especially with October Odyssey and Infinite Echoes. You can create a little more daily friendly looks from On the Horizon, because when you get into Radiant Reflection to me is the more vibrant offering out of the three. You still have your green blues and your purple pinks, but look how vibrant these are in Radiant Reflection, as well as the, well, with Temptalia, this is like a shiny pink. And then with Dearest Constant, this terracotta reddish matte with Unstoppable Love, as well as Summer Reverie. These are your three mattes. And yeah, like no matter how you slice it, it's going to be color rich, super vibrant from Radiant Reflection. So that's how I would classify all the palettes, because you are correct. And maybe Christine, who is Temptalia, had the intention of creating this blueprint. I don't actually know the story behind her process, which is something I probably should read on. But let me know what you think down below. I think we hypothesized several perspectives, like, you know, why she picked the shades that she did and why she organized them the way that she did. So yes, each one has a blue, green, red, purple, something, but each has a different feel and mood. And out of all of them, and it's so hard to pick, I think On the Horizon is my favorite, because you still have the color, but the subtlety is there, and there's definitely a ground and earthiness about it that I feel still can be suitable for every day, but not as like impactful as, like, let's say Quintessence and Radiant Reflection. It's hard because I love some of these shades from Quintessence. I think this might be the toughest one to combine shades with, because each one is so full bodied. And then forget it, Radiant Reflection is pow wow, like all over top to bottom. Like, look at those blues. You know what I mean? Like, you really gotta commit. Let me know what your favorite palette is down below. Let me know what your favorite palette is from June. If you have all that I have shown in this video, well, let us talk about it. I hope that's it. I hope I'm not missing anything. I probably am, but that's okay. Oh, there is one more. There is one more. And then we'll go. I'm sorry. Lisa Eldridge Gloss Embrace in Affair. I don't know where it is. It's, oh, wait, no. I should have it in front of me waiting, but I failed to take it out. Is probably in my backpack, because that's how much I love it. The luxuriously lucent color that really stole my heart is Painterly. That's what I have on today. It is like a balm, but it's a tint. It's so luxuriously smooth, but the color, it just brings the complexion. I love how, I don't know what I'm saying. It's brown, but the reddish tone just makes it perfect. Really easy to commit to. It's not like her lip velvets, which I love, but you gotta stay within the lines on that one, you know? This though, I love Spirited Away as well. Spirited Away, a little more pink, but with the brown tint to Painterly, and if you put Gloss Embrace Affair on top, it's too much to take. So those have been my standout favorites from the Lisa lip products. Songbird also is beautiful, I have to say. Maybe I have to apply Songbird on top of Spirited Away. I gotta try that combination. Alright, I think we covered it all. If I missed anything, well, that's just too bad. I'll see you down in the comments, fam. Let me know what your favorites have been. And until then, that is alright. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you in here again with another review tutorial. Monthly favorites extravaganza. Get ready with me or lunchtime chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.